Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of
I don't care, man. I'm leaving. Man.
Rabbit Trails.
You can't do nothing to me. I'm too old.
today we had my grandpa on. This is Papa. Say hello, Papa.
Hello, Papa.
Thank you.
This is Benea, your pilot speaking.
Yeah.
We will be enjoying about an hour-long podcast here. It'll be filled with many rabbit trails
Benea.
and holes. And
I'm John. That's Matt. I hope you guys enjoy.
I am now a permanent guest like John, maybe, sometimes.
Well, maybe
He'll be a host before I will.
part-time
Yeah.
permanent host.
I'll be here occasionally, more than usual.
more,
Yes, sir.
yep, more than like 3 times like he was last time.
Matt
And
is our
Yes.
permanent host.
what's your name, Isaac?
temporarily
Yeah,
permanent
great.
host.
Well,
His name's Boca.
My
Boca.
name is Boca. Welcome to Rabbit Trails.
Yeah, welcome, guys. Hope you enjoy the podcast.
Enjoy the first episode. Well, new podcast, but it's the same.
Same thing, but just giving.
Oh, we still have to line up our audio.
Well, I already yelled.
Did you?
Yeah.
What?
And it was a quieter yell.
Yeah, if you can't line it up from this, like.
I mean, is she even an editor?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Was
It,
that- was
yeah,
it that
it was
loud?
basically like that. Yeah, he was like, see, we're all helping out. We're
I
all
didn't know.
contributing.
Yeah. Matt's a little.
So I want to know what each of your individual thoughts are on squirrels.
Why is that?
Just for
Squirrels?
fun.
Well, they're kind of small. They're kind of annoying sometimes. They like nuts and they go up trees.
Nice.
And that's my thoughts on the squirrels.
John, do you have any thoughts on squirrels?
No, they're okay.
No.
I just.
Ground squirrels or like tree squirrels?
You said squirrels, so probably all of them, right?
Yeah, just the
I-
collective family.
I find I have a healthy love for like tree squirrels, like the North American brown squirrel and gray squirrel.
Why?
Well, they're cool. They're like mice, but way better. And rats with fluffy tails.
And they have.
And
giant
I
cheeks.
actually like squirrels, not rats and mice. I hate gophers
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
technically those are Richardson ground squirrels up here in Montana.
Really?
We don't have actual gophers.
Hmm.
They're Richardson ground squirrels, so they're a
Mhm.
ground squirrel. That's why they don't look. That's why they look a lot like squirrels.
They're ugly and the worst.
They're no, they're cute.
No, I hate
Gophers?
them.
Gophers.
No.
Our gophers up here are so cute. Have you ever held a baby gopher?
No, but I've shot
Yeah,
them.
him in my backyard.
They're cute.
My next stop when I get home is get a pellet gun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Shoot 'em.
shoot them.
Wreck your lawn.
Feed him some
Just
bubble
sit it
gum.
outside the hole with your gun and wait for the pop out and just.
Well, I'm going to put a
Well,
ghillie suit on and everything.
I
man.
kill the
I'm
crap out of them, but I love them.
Is that why you love them?
Well, I love them because they're cute. I domesticated one once.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I named him Gilligan.
You also held the heart of a beating gopher.
I did do that. Shout out my YouTube channel, Matt
in
Lee.
Matt's bio or whatever, I
It's somewhere.
Matthew holds the beating heart of a
think.
gopher.
It got demonetized
on
at
his
some
birthday.
point
Oh
eventually.
yeah, absolutely.
It took it a while, though.
I think I may have gotten age restricted.
That's what it was. It was something like that,
The
yeah.
video features Isaac with an extremely dull knife.
And Jonah, Surgeon Jonah.
Yeah, that's a great video. I love that one.
I love that video. It's still in my Instagram bio.
Is it?
Yeah.
At Mr. Matt Lee.
On
Go
Instagram.
check me out.
Yeah, go do that, guy.
Grandpa, do you have any thoughts on squirrels?
I do. Even though I live by the beach, we have a pretty good population of ground squirrels in my backyard. I have avocado trees and fruit trees, and I had one the other day threaten me from a tree limb. They do have opposing thumbs, so I was afraid that he was going to. I was
Really?
looking for the membrane under his forearm so he could come flying at me.
Was he
right?
holding like a gun or something?
Yeah, he was
Is that how he's
staring at me
threatening you?
and making noise and being very aggressive and pushing on the tree limb. I was a little. I'm really pretty much not afraid of anything, but I was a little tense about that because I didn't know what to do. Right? It was pretty unusual. I never had an animal do that to me before.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you went up and shook the branch, right? And then it shook the branch back?
Yeah. No, I mean, it was like it's used to making a funny noise, like when they talk to dogs. When they know the dogs can't get them, right? Because they're up on the wires or whatever. So it wasn't like that, man. This guy. Whew. But you know, they serve a purpose. You know, they're all right, as long as they don't have rabies, right?
It's true.
But ultimately, you defeated the squirrel. You were victorious.
No, I retreated.
Oh.
Oh.
I went
Came
in the
to a
house to get
draw.
one of my knives, you know. But
Well, you know what they say? They say sometimes it's smarter to know when you should withdraw and live to see another day.
What-
Mm.
well, in reality, I look at it this way: we're invading on their. You know, he could have been there, or that squirrel could have been there. He had as a mate, and maybe some, I guess you call it a little chipmunk. So, to me, you know, even though I live in the in the city in California by the ocean where they got, you know, extremely large sharks and stuff like that in the water, and I surf. He does what he does, and I do what I do. So we have to coexist, right? I mean, it's not for me to take his life just because he's trying to feed his family, right? That's the way I look at it.
But he's still going to taunt you from the tree.
For a little while, till I get home and get that pellet gun.
Wait a minute. Wait. I'm
You're not going to
confused.
We got tags. We got tags at surf shops for squirrel tags. and it's the tail. That's instead of a fork like a deer, it's the tail.
Well, at least make sure you kill his whole family then. So
Yeah,
they're not-
like-
Yeah, finish the job. You got to commit.
just
No
blow-
witnesses.
do they sell tannerite in California?
What's it called?
Tannerite?
I don't.
It's an explosive that blows up when you shoot it.
They s- oh,
You
yeah,
should
they
just
do.
blow- you
California,
should just-
no, California, you can't. I'm telling you,
No, tannerite will give you
You should just
cancer in
blow the tree
you
up.
can't even have a knife. In
Just blow-
California.
just blow
you can't
the-
carry a knife that's
well-
longer than 4 inches. So no
Hey,
big toenail
Sam.
clippers, no nothing. No, it's really restrictive because it's a city, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to have a firearm, and we all have something, right?
Well, just cause a gas leak or something, and
Yeah, like
Blow
go
up-
up to
like-
the squirrel's kitchen and turn his stove on, but don't
Well,
light it.
What I've done in the past, because I have fruit trees and like everybody in the neighborhood, in the night we have fruit rats, and they got a real long bushy tail, and they're fairly substantial in size. So I would lay a big rat trap with some peanut butter, but tie a string around it, so when it killed it, and it fell off the fence, I could retrieve it. I don't want it, go in my neighbor's yard. So I don't know if there's a trap that big, because these squirrels, they didn't miss any food. They're fed pretty well from just stuff, pet food and, stuff like that.
well, you can poison acorns and nuts and stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
there's all
up here
kinds
it's
of ways
easy
to
to
take
buy
out the family.
strychnine and stuff. Like,
But you got to be careful, just like when you do horticulture around your yard, if you have pets, they tell you that the insecticide that they have is pet friendly. When your dog will die. So what, you're going to sue the, Monsanto? So you just got to be really careful. City is way different than the restrictions, especially in California. And you got a lot of this with the neighbors, everybody's on the podcast or whatever, and the neighborhood, I like to call them the neighborhood Karens, right? They'll put that on social media.
Hmm.
So it's not, there's a lot of people with nothing to do but rat, right? So, but they're okay. They exist and I exist, and
Yeah.
I'd rather have that than a, 800-pound grizzly bear running around, rattling
That's
my
true.
trash cans.
In your tree.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I'd rather have the bear because that's cooler. I think it's cooler.
I mean, yeah, it's
to
a
go
cooler
to go
story.
shake the tree when there's a bear and they're trying to shake him out and have him.
And the bear just
shaking her
flips
back.
you off and just shaking the tree back. It's like, these are my
Yeah.
avocados.
I would imagine 100 years ago we probably did, because we have a
Yeah.
substantial. I live across from a lot of Huntington, where I live, is a wetlands, a federally protected wetlands where we have a lot of Canadian geese. We have a lot of foxes and coyotes. Unfortunately, they're able to get into the neighborhoods and leap the fence and get everybody's foo-foo dog, right? So I don't know. Bear would probably be okay.
Can coyotes impregnate your dog? Are
They
they?
eat 'em. They don't do that. They eat them. They're hungry. They're starving.
If they weren't starving, though, do you think?
could they?
They're both dogs, canines. I think it's possible, right? Like, can coyotes and like wolves crossbreed?
Is a coyote a specific species, or is it an offbreed of something else? Dogs come from wolves, right? Domesticated
Yeah,
wolves.
they're all in the canine family, I
right.
believe.
So is it kind of like Cro-Magnon man and Neanderthal? We're all upright humans, but they're actually different species, right? If you look at it.
I've never heard of coyotes and wolves and dogs.
No, I
You've
guess.
never heard of them.
I've
Well,
never even seen
There's-
one.
We're talking about crossbreeding.
Dogs
Yeah,
are all over the place.
Where
Man. I don't know
where
how
I
you
live,
have it.
they pack.
Yeah.
They'll come under. There's a bridge that's close to my house, and when the tide goes out, they'll come from the wetlands, which is actually an ammunition depot for the Navy. The ships come in and load and unload ordnance, and then they go back out and kill people. They wait for the tide to drop. They'll go under the highway and then come into the neighborhoods. Unfortunately, a lot of people leave food out, and the coyotes, just like the chipmunks, they're just trying to feed their families, right? So it's a whole different mindset here than it would be in Montana or Nebraska, or it's just different. They look at all that stuff as a nuisance,
Yeah.
even though we've intruded on them, right?
Yeah.
So.
I guess the main reason I asked was I'd like to see little Susie's little wet white rat dog and a coyote getting at it.
Why did you want to see that?
No. I want to see that. I want to see what the outcome of that is. I want to
The
see what that
offspring.
makes.
What they actually, we got those too, osprey. That's a big predator bird over there, and they usually go after fish, right?
No, like tell me what that's gonna look like.
What they do in our neighborhood, if a lot of elderly people or something will be walking their little barking rat dog,
Yeah.
they'll come and take that dog right off that leash, and they are not afraid of people.
Good.
What do that?
Mine.
Yeah,
The coyotes or
no, the coyotes.
Yeah,
I'm dead serious. They'll do
I
that.
like them. No,
So
that's
even
good.
even when we used to have a pretty good sized lab, we used to take him to these parks with eucalyptus groves, and you would see a collar of a little dog that, you know, that's, all you see is like a foot left, right? So survival of the fittest, right?
Matt,
Yes,
I think
that's one good thing I've heard.
That's
about
what would
California.
happen to the little white dog.
Matt, I
Yeah.
think we should go coyote hunting out here.
No,
we should
let
go
them be.
kill
Let
Are
'em
they
be.
varmints? Are they considered varmints?
They're just kind of pests.
Yeah,
I think you're allowed to kill them if they're on your property.
coyotes.
yeah, absolutely.
Some places, some states, I think in Nebraska, they're considered the farmers. There's a bounty on them.
Oh yeah, when I was out there, like all night, you hear them howling,
They're so annoying.
screaming.
They
Oh,
sound like
yeah.
little girls.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell when they catch something because you hear a bunch of them howling and barking.
Yeah.
So they're talking to each other. So, you know.
That's not how.
My voice isn't all the way back right now. So.
You're still
Wait,
going
why'd
through
you lose
puberty?
your voice?
Yeah.
But it's okay, you know. I've never don't have a small dog, and they can
Well,
jump a
anymore.
6-foot wall.
You don't have one anymore, right?
No,
It's gone. They took it.
No, I had an 85-pound white lab and a 150-pound Rottweiler. I had maybe a mountain lion, but no dog.
So did they ever breed with the coyotes and
No.
make like?
No.
There's like a pack out there that's just like
Half Rottweiler, half.
Yeah.
He's got a Rottweiler head with a coyote body.
they leave you alone. They hunt the squirrels.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
No,
go.
it's
full
a,
circle.
It's a squirrel and an eagle. That's what we got there. We got
Yeah.
Squirrels, they got big beaks on them and talons, right?
Is that what was in the tree yelling at you?
A squirrel with a talon.
That's
tell if it was-
that's why.
I couldn't tell
That was a
if it was
crossbreed.
screeching at me or what. I mean, I was terrified.
It was
right?
like
I'd be terrified of a mixed squirrel eagle thingy too.
hey,
Yeah.
maybe like if you're
it's called a what do they call that bird? A mythical bird?
it's a griffin.
Griffin.
but
Yeah,
like-
it looks like a griffin, right?
But
Oh,
it's like a squirrel griffin.
Scaled
they're
down.
coming. I can see the 4 horsemen. They're on their way. I'm done. Last thing I remember is this thing's eating my stomach. You know, it's gutting me. That's what they do, right? They eat your soft parts first. I don't want to mess around with it.
Wow.
I can imagine just the squirrel like on top of you. It's just like has
Just dig-
an avocado in one hand and just like eating out of it, and it's just like it's just killing.
Just
it.
enjoying a full
The other
course
thing
meal.
that's really aggressive is, and they're very big, is raccoons.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you get a raccoon, I've
Yeah.
seen raccoons 3 feet tall, and if they got kits, I guess you call them, they'll hold off any dog. I mean, I've seen them. They're extremely, and people grow strawberries and little gardens and stuff, and they'll get down there and you yell at them and stuff, and they just turn around and look at you and goes, I ain't done yet, right? So, but they're
Well-
pretty aggressive, and they also have an opposing thumb, so that means they
Yeah,
can grab you,
yeah.
right?
When I was in Nebraska, I shot a 60-pound coon.
No doubt.
Dang. Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, we didn't weigh it, but it was big. It was a
Yeah,
big old
big.
boy. And the week before, I crap you not, Brooke said they shot an 80-pound coon.
That's
No, I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
If the food is right,
Dude,
if they
Yeah.
feed well enough, and there's game. So
What'd you shoot it with?
A gun.
Well, what was
what
it?
kind of gun?
460
Well,
Weatherby, right?
her
Just a-
dad shot it with a shotgun first, and I finished off with a 22. It was sitting in a bucket, like a tractor bucket, like a yard bucket,
Yeah.
a metal bucket. And he walks up and he shoots that sucker with a shotgun from 20 foot.
Was it a slug or was it a bird shot?
It was bird shot.
Peppers it. Just like,
It kept moving,
mad- made it
so I
mad,
went up
right?
and I shot it in the head.
That sucks for that thing, dude.
Yeah, I was scared too.
pepper the raccoon.
It was a metal bucket, and he was shooting a shotgun shell into it. Yeah, it was going everywhere.
That's quite interesting.
I hit a
Did it
coon
have
with my
talons? in the
car.
beak?
Raccoon?
Yeah, did it have talons? in
I
the beak?
didn't look
I
at it. I
remember
just
that,
shot
yeah.
it.
You just close
It
your
was
eyes.
dark
He had
out.
back legs like a kangaroo, right? So he could jump the fence and come and take your stuff.
Well, I think he didn't have a back end anymore.
It's just kind of like hanging
He
off.
was just kind of crawling around.
After the bird shot.
Yeah, it was a 12 gauge.
The 12 gauge bird shot.
That's kind of rough.
I think it was a 12 gauge.
Couldn't miss though, right?
Oh.
Get scary and get shaky with a 22 and you miss, right? And
Yeah,
the raccoon comes and
yeah.
attacks you with a knife.
That's one thing. Yeah, actually, in Nebraska, they've learned how to use knives and stuff.
Raccoons?
Yeah.
I don't doubt that. They have opposing thumbs.
Yeah.
It's like a monkey, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a monkey, right?
Walk on their hind legs. They get
Well, I'm
pants.
telling
they
you, I went to work
sag
one
'em.
day, and one was standing up. I went to open the gate at like 4 in the morning, and I saw this thing moving, and it was living in the back. We had a big scrap yard and stuff with a bunch of pump parts. And I saw this thing, and I go, what is that, right? And I went, and I unlocked the gate and started to move the gate, and it wouldn't let me come in the yard. So then I look over in the corner, and I had no weapon or nothing, right? So I could see little baby ones, little baby eyes moving around in the scrap metal. So I said, I'm good. Call the animal control. And he didn't want to go in there.
Oh,
All you can do is noose them, right? Put that noose on them.
Oh,
I don't know.
We can shoot them up here, I guess, but down there, I guess. You
No,
can't do
I'm
much
telling you,
more.
you can't even shoot criminals in California. So, whatever.
yeah, that's pretty funny picture. I just imagine just a big old raccoon with like pants sagging and like a do rag on with a knife.
He's got like
He got a
sunglasses on.
shank
and
on him. He just pulled out a shank.
Yeah, and then Brooks Tag comes out with a 12 gauge and just blasts him.
The raccoons versus squirrels.
Yeah, I think they'd be on the same team.
Yeah, they're both rodents.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
and coyotes. would all be-
Coyotes are the good guys.
Why are the coyotes the good
I
guys?
just feel like they are.
Keep everything in balance.
Yeah, they kill little baby
we
dogs.
go with that place where I live. I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, the Humane Society or somebody went in there and killed one species. They killed the foxes.
Oh yeah.
They killed the foxes. So then all of a sudden there was 1 trillion rabbits in there, jackrabbits, right?
Mm.
Or people let the rabbit loose. They don't want it anymore. It gets loose in the wild population. Next thing you know, you got a bunch of funny-looking jackrabbits.
Well, they tried to do the same thing in Yellowstone. I think they wanted, well, the wolves. I think they wanted to get rid of, and then the elk population just went up so much.
Well, do you know
and
why they
then-
wanted to get rid of the wolves?
Because they were eating all the people.
Well, the elk population was dying. Okay, so we're the natural predator to wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't take care of wolves, you start getting a lot of livestock disappearing, like way more than usual. So we have to take care of some wolves. And then you get the people who are like, no, you can't kill the wolves. And then you end up with an overpopulation of wolves and
Right.
everything else starts
They do the same thing in the ocean where I live. Is they put after Jaws, right? The movie Jaws.
Yep.
They put a moratorium on fishing great white sharks, right? So
Mhm.
if you go to any of the piers or if you go sports fishing, you can catch a great white shark, but you got to release it, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
sometimes okay. So then what happened was when they did that, then there was too many great whites, and the seal population went away. All the fur seals, all those because that's their natural. Same thing, right? So then they opened up the, you can go ahead and kill great whites now, and the seals went out of control, right? So every time you intervene,
Yeah.
any of
Mhm.
us, it's not really a good scenario. Huh?
Yeah, don't mess with nature.
There's a
Right.
balance to it, yeah.
There's always.
I mean, we're part of nature, so we go in there and do what we want.
We do whatever
Well,
we
We're
want.
the apex predator, right? On the
Yeah.
planet, we're the apex predator, right?
Yeah.
Big brain.
So there's there's a reason there's a wolf, and there's a reason why there's elk and deer and
Yep.
and tourists, right? So they and so they can just go in there. I mean, you just got to leave it alone, right? If you encroach on their house, they don't care if you build a housing track on where their little trail was. They're going to come out and get your dog or your cat. That's a good way to get rid of cats. Yeah. So yeah, you don't see any more cats in your neighborhood. You know why? It's either that or a predator bird. So
Yeah, I usually just let tourists be tourists, and then they kind of just go extinct.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
There's more.
They go and
Tourist?
pet the bison.
Well,
And
the population really died down during COVID. I think it got them all.
What's
yeah,
that?
all
What's
the
that?
buffalo.
The tourists, they just kind of disappeared.
here, I guess.
Well, you know what I thought? I saw this video on TikTok. It was like, this guy was talking about Yellowstone. He's like, and actually, it's Yellowstone is a giant petting zoo. So go pet all of the animals you see, and the bison, they'll let you just ride them if you just jump on.
oh yeah,
them,
I
you
saw
can
that
just
one too.
ride 'em.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought I saw on the news one time where some Japanese tourists they tried to sue the park site because they didn't have the animals trained.
Yeah, yeah. They're like,
no, I'm serious. Yeah,
yeah. They're like, why didn't the bears come out more? I wanted. Well, they're not trained bears. They're not gonna come out on demand.
especially when they first come out, right, with the kid, with the cubs. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
really
right.
excited.
Oh, I'm gonna go pet it. It looks so fluffy. And then yeah, you get to pet it, and that's the
Well,
last thing you
as
do.
long that's okay. Some people need to, in my opinion, they need to be put down. People. Because, why would you euthanize? I think once an animal kills a human being, I think mentally they're a little different because once they lose that fear of a human being, So why would you euthanize something that's doing something to protect their town? I don't get that. So anyway, so what are you going to do? But I always, when people come to the beach from inland, because it's like 100 degrees just a few miles from my house, but when you get onto my house, right, John, it's like 75.
Yeah, it's
Prevailing
great.
winds off the Pacific Ocean. It's beautiful. We got like 9 miles of open beach, plenty of stuff to do. Is come to my town, spend your money, have a good time, and then go home, right? Just don't wreck the place. Just don't wreck the place.
Yep.
You know yourself, if you go to somebody's house, and it's not your house, unless, depending on how you were raised, are you going to respect that like you would your own place? Then why would you respect someone else's place? Whatever. Just come, spend your money, and go home. Well, the thing is, in Montana, they're all staying, right?
Yeah, they are, dude.
They're all coming
Yeah.
from Northern California. I hope it doesn't wreck this state.
Yeah, it's
And bring your money and
already started.
bring your money, but don't bring your other stuff. Right?
Don't bring
Don't
your
bring your
ideas and
ideas.
then abandon them a year in, and then we end up with all these. Yeah.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really like further north. You can get up around San Francisco and Oakland and,
Yeah, they're bad too.
Livermore, where all the people that have the internet. A lot of people, they just have a lot of money.
Yeah.
They have a lot of money. You can buy a lot of stuff. We've looked around for what my house is worth. I can buy a pretty good sized place here, but the weather's prohibitive for me, and I like the Pacific Ocean. So, and it's a good place for him and his brothers to come visit, right?
Yes, sir.
You guys want to come to California, go to the beach? He's got my address. Right? Was it cool?
Yeah, it's great. I love
And
it.
he was a little kid when we left. Weather's nice. Average temperature 72 degrees.
Nice.
Chicks don't wear hardly anything. Even the fat ones, right?
Oh boy.
Yeah, woo, phew, yeah.
That's exciting.
Good thing
Bis-
Benea's into
Biscuits
into
and
that.
gravy. Yeah.
So much.
But no, I
Well,
mean, it's-
Benea, you've never even seen the ocean.
I actually don't believe the ocean's real.
Yeah, he's never seen the ocean. He's never been.
my son, when he was dating his wife, and she's from Nebraska, they'd never been past the railroad tracks for BSNF, right? So, no, I'm serious. They never have. So a lot
Yeah.
of when she came, as cold it is here and as cold it is in Nebraska, they came and stayed with us for about 4 or 5 months, and it was in January. Two things. Number one, it's what, 4,500 here? Sea
Yeah,
level?
it's something like that.
I'm at
It's
sea
about
level.
46.
45.
I'm at sea level, right? So when she came, as cold as it is here, because it gets damp because of the ocean, she couldn't get warm. She couldn't get warm. She couldn't get used to the low elevation, and the fact that it was so
Moist.
damp all the
Humid,
time. Right?
yeah.
So when I come here and I'm freezing, so you guys are t-shirts and shorts, right? Going outside because you're used to it,
Yeah.
right? You get acclimated to it.
Yeah, oddly, Texas is really humid too.
Oh, Texas is very.
Like as soon as you cross the border, it's just like, it's like.
I mean, Florida's the same way.
Oh well, that makes
There's
sense.
nothing
Sweating.
good about the South. I've been when my son was in the Army. He was
That's
in Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
So true.
Fort Benning, Georgia, San Angelo, Texas, and I'll tell you what, man. Oh.
Nothing at
You
all.
ever seen a cicada?
Oh god.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Oh, the
They're giant,
Fatty
looking,
ones.
frick no.
giant looking.
I'm
cockroaches,
out of there.
And, they're green, and they make it. They're Oh my god.
Yeah, one of the hotels we stayed in, we were just walking in, and there was cicadas and grasshoppers just everywhere. Like even in the lobby, like they just like.
It's Hawaii. Hawaii's like that.
When I was in Florida, it's just all night long. It's
Everywhere.
just bugs
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh,
you
yeah, you
hear
just
them.
hear
it.
They're like crawling everywhere, jumping everywhere. It's not even like fun bugs too. It's
So,
like
well,
bad
I've never been to
bugs.
Florida. I came up 40, so I didn't go that far south. But I hear that in Florida, in the crosswalks, they have when you push the button, it's not a hand. It's a cockroach and termite. They got a lot of termites. Flying
Really?
termites there. And at night, when you turn the light on, there's millions of them that come out. So, nah, you guys don't have any bugs here. It's too cold.
No, at least not right now.
Well, they kind of die out in the winter and come back in the summer. But
It's
the
good.
winter is
They bury
super
themselves.
nice.
That's
I
why we
don't-
don't have homeless people. They
I
die
never
off in the
see
winter.
bugs in the winter.
Could be.
Like,
Yeah, 'cause
There's
Well,
like
the weather's not
spiders in your
conducive to that,
house, but
right?
that's about it.
In Orange County, Southern California, it is, and especially down at the beach. There's a lot of homeless people. The weather's nice, right?
Yeah, it's just the same degrees.
A lot of people,
All year
people
long.
have a lot of money, so they don't mind giving some guy like that $20. Get off me, right?
yeah.
So
That's why I like it here. There's just no.
Yeah, they
homeless
all
people
die off in the winter.
Yeah, they do.
yeah, pretty hard to. I mean, our homeless people have Ugg shoes on, a big cell phone, pack of cigarettes, and You know, you got a Yeti jacket on. You know, I mean, those are homeless people out in California.
And they get they're like a Ferrari and then go home.
Yeah, they're making about six
They
figures.
go home.
They're making,
Yeah.
they're making six figures and it's all cash, right? So
Oh yeah, there definitely
No
have been
taxes.
those kind of people
They
though.
don't pay
That,
Well,
taxes.
in the dead of
Exactly.
winter up here, you'll go to the corners where the homeless people like to sit, and there'll be vehicles sitting maybe half a block away, and
Like with the heater on, so every 20 minutes I can go back to it. And
yeah. There's not
For every-
many.
people
There's
like that-
homeless people, but there's not as many as
There's
pretend to be.
disenfranchised people everywhere, right?
Mhm.
So every once in a while in the winter when I go surfing, it's dark, it's freezing cold, raining or something. We'll go to McDonald's before we go out in the water, and there'll be people you could tell they're mentally ill. That's different, right? If somebody's mentally ill, they really need help. Somehow they need help, right? You got to be able to evaluate and house those people. So, you know, I don't mind buying somebody like that a big, you know, a McDonald's meal or a cup of coffee, right? We all got, look at us, we all got resources, right? We're all
Mhm.
blessed, right? You guys got trucks and guns, and I got surfboards and wax, right?
There you go.
Life's good, right?
Yeah.
Life is good.
yeah, you got a truck though, don't you?
Yeah, Frontier, Nissan Frontier.
That thing goes.
Yeah, it's got a pretty good engine. It's a mid-size. I thought about buying a Dodge Ram. Andy's got one of those. California, that's $50,000. I don't know what a Laramie. I think it's a Laramie.
Oh yeah, Laramie is no, Laramie's Ford's top model.
Oh, then it's a
Longhorn is
no, it's a
Dodge.
different one. It starts with an L.
Lariat.
It's- yeah,
Lariat, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, my son's got one, and I drove it. It's nice. Cab's huge.
Oh
This
yeah.
is a 4x4. I don't need that in California. But man, I went down and took. And besides, the tags and everything is pretty prohibitive. Here, it's really nice. Nebraska sucks. My son said that. And
Nebraska does suck.
No, it's not. I don't see.
we've
Except for the
talked
fact
about
that
it
my
before.
son and his family are there.
Just avoid the state entirely, right?
I'm telling you, you've been there, right?
Yeah.
Just open roads. You get
Pretty
on the
much.
2 or the 90 or the 80. 80's another one, right? You can drive for days, man, and you know. Now you see this one guy in a combine, and he's going 5 miles an hour in front of you. You can't get around it. 'cause
I
it's
actually
so
did
wide,
pass
right?
a guy on a combine. Yeah.
International
we were in.
Holocaust.
We just went
And he
down
don't
northern
care 'cause he's
Nebraska.
in
We
about
were
a
in
$1.5 million
Nebraska.
combine. He don't care, right?
We were maybe
Yeah.
in Nebraska for an hour and a half
Yeah.
before we got to our destination, and we passed. That was the only farm equipment we passed on the whole trip.
Really?
Yeah.
If
and
you
it
go
was
there in
good.
harvest season,
Yeah.
they just come right out on the road.
Oh, and it's
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's nice. It's not even harvest season. A few months ago, it would have been even worse.
Yeah. So we didn't get behind any of those, but we saw on the other side of the street, they just pull out and they can only go like, what, 10 miles an hour maybe?
They don't
'Cause
go
they're
very
all low
fast,
gear.
and they're wide.
Yeah,
I couldn't see around him,
right.
so I
that
had to
big- that
stop
big,
behind
whatever that
him
thing is in the front.
until he
Mm.
pulled off. Then I could pass him.
And he don't care.
Yeah.
Man,
Probably owns
Nebraska
the whole town.
He can't
sucks.
care. If he cares, then he wouldn't get any work done.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
just can't. You gotta let the traffic pile up behind you.
Well,
But
when I was in Nebraska, when we got there, it was maybe 6:30, and
Really?
me and Jonah, we drove for probably 40 miles and didn't pass a single car.
no,
Are you
exactly.
serious?
Yeah.
Only thing
Yeah.
we really was trucks.
Well, we didn't pass anything.
Yeah.
There was nothing.
That was 2, I guess, is a big interstate 2, and I think it's 80 maybe.
Mm.
There was huge amounts of trucks.
Oh yeah, there's.
And what's kind of cool about Montana, everything outside of California is when you're on a trip, you want to take a road trip, they've got so many places to stop, stretch your legs, get something to eat, and just hang out, right? Well, there's not a lot of truck stops, you know, like that in Southern California, where you can get out. Some of them have showers, and they're pretty nice, right?
Oh yeah, we got truck stops
Everything up here in
everywhere.
this valley is new.
Yeah, it's great.
Every
It's
time I come
new
about
and
every couple
really
years,
nice.
2-3 years. We would have came last year, but for the obvious reason we didn't. The housing here is unbelievable. But
Oh yeah.
these people, the farmers' kids, are selling off the land and making all the money on the land because they don't want to get out there in freezing cold weather and do
Yeah,
that.
no.
That's okay. So
Well, the hard part is because there's a lot more farmers out here in Belgrade,
Excuse you.
but Belgrade doesn't have near as good of soil as
Mhm.
Bozeman does,
Okay.
and Bozeman's where everything's being built.
which doesn't make sense as far as agriculture.
Yeah,
right?
what should have happened is they should have sold all the land out here.
Well, we're
And-
we're next to the river, and that's why.
Yeah,
If you're ever coming from like the Madison from Ennis, and you look down over the big hill, you can see how much higher Bozeman is. Than
Oh yeah,
Belgrade.
Bozeman's 500 feet higher than Belgrade.
So is there a huge aquifer? Because I noticed that one thing I did notice, and I wouldn't have paid attention. My son brought that to my attention. Is I'm not sure what they're called. You got a lot of alfalfa here, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have the sprinkler systems on the pivot. What do they call them? Pivot.
Yeah, pivot.
The
Okay.
pivots.
You don't see any of that in Nebraska. because in
They got-
Nebraska,
Yeah.
underneath of Nebraska, all the way to Texas, is called the Okafor Aquifer. It's the biggest amount of water underground, maybe second to the Sahara.
It's huge.
So
And
they
it's like
can
40
run.
feet
You
below
could see
max.
huge. I thought it was guy planted a bunch of trees for a windbreak. No, that's a little river that these trees are growing. You can always tell, right? Where there's a bunch of trees, there's
Mhm.
water, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those.
I mean, it's kind of the same here. If you go towards the closer you get to the river, the more trees you get.
Yeah, because they're seeking water, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, duh.
One thing when I was down there, we have windmills up here, right? But our windmills aren't functional. Down there,
A little, yeah.
in every
Do they have
pasture,
the wind turbines down
tons.
there?
no, they have windmills,
Like
like windmills,
huge.
and they're actually running
Like
water
actual
pumps.
windmills.
Actual windmills, like maybe
Windmills?
15 foot off the ground.
Mills.
Mills,
It's a mill.
not meals.
Windmills.
Okay, well,
You
that's
keep
what I
saying
said.
windmills.
Okay,
Whatever
that's what I
they are.
Whatever the
By
frick
the
they are,
windmills
guys.
at
Shut up and let me
Windco.
tell my story. Shut up and let me tell my story. They're all running for each pasture. At least this is how it was where I was. They're running pumps, like water pumps.
Yeah, you
and
got
they're
the big-
pumping up water.
So
they're
what
running
drives
like
what
10
drives
gallons a minute.
Is there a motor on that or what drives
no
it?
wind.
Well,
They're just
But
windmills.
To me, that makes more sense than those stupid turbines they got up.
Oh, it is, and the water's so high because the aquifer that
Correct.
they don't need. They don't need
Huge
the
pumps. They don't have to. This isn't a derogatory. They don't need a lot of. They don't have to pull as much head, because I worked in. That's what it means. It takes the distance is called head, right? With
Mhm.
the pump. So the longer the distance, that's what you have to overcome, right? So if the water's close to the surface, then you don't need that big powerful pump.
And it's. I drank some. It's good water. It's
Oh,
real
yeah.
water.
A lot of limestone.
Yeah,
It's
it's
filtered naturally by
Yeah.
limestone. When
That's
my son
sick.
first went to Nebraska, he worked at a company, Martin Marietta, that's his jacket here. But they worked in a place called Weeping Water, and it's a huge complex, and that's what they do. They have these huge mines, and they pull limestone, and that's a filter, right? So yeah, that was one thing I noticed a different. One thing is that you guys have these spigots, wheels, or some of them are on up top like a racehorse kind of a halter thing, and then the others are on wheels.
yeah, you have the lower ones that are on the wheel every few, and then you have the pivots, which are the tall ones.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the-
yeah.
Yeah.
So the pump is there where the pivot is?
The pump is in the center of the
it's in
pivot.
the center where
Okay.
it pivots out.
And yeah, and then it just pumps it all through the pivot.
And
just all
you
the way
usually
down.
have an irrigation ditch running up to that point
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I
or
don't,
near it.
Yeah, Texas had a lot of them too. There was like thousands down there.
Pivots.
No,
Really?
the windmills.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
the windmills?
because there's just
Fun.
water right below the surface.
Windmill.
Texas is part of that aquifer,
Yeah, I guess.
along with oil.
Those windmills,
Windmills, yeah.
Well, you buy the windmills at Windco.
guys. I am purposely really saying e. Right now.
Windmiles.
Windmills.
Windmills.
Yeah, I took
Windmills.
videos
Windmills.
of it. They all have a light on them. It's really cool looking. Like it was dark out, and you just see all these lights. And then
Oh,
they,
yeah.
They flash once, and then they go off. And
So
then
the
they
plane
flash.
don't hit them.
Yeah, but they're really cool looking. It's like
Hmm.
tons.
Well, there were some. So the reason they bring up water in where I was in Nebraska is for their cattle.
Right.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the trough, at least on a couple of them I saw, there's a pipe that goes straight back down into the earth.
Well, the
Was it-
water there is
Yeah, so they're bringing up water and all the water that so it doesn't run out off into the field where
Right.
it doesn't. They don't need it because
Right.
it's wet enough. It just goes straight back down.
Huh.
And
I
it
want
gets
to
refiltered
visit
through the-
Nebraska
through the
now and
limestone.
kind of see this.
No, you don't.
I really do.
Where I was at, it was actually pretty cool. It was really.
where you were
actually
at.
pretty.
I'm understanding. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but that's where most of the cattle is.
There was a lot of
A
cattle.
lot of hills,
and sand hills. Yeah.
and then
Basically, the hills are sand, and it's like a natural, like weird thing. There's not dirt. It's literally sand.
yeah.
It's like the dunes we have
Is
out
it
in
like-
Idaho.
And it
Idaho.
rains. It rains enormous amounts there. I don't know how many inches of rain my son gets. Where they at? And the wind. The wind is brutal. But in the summer,
the wind is
you
brutal.
can't even go outside in the summer. It is so hot and humid there. The humidity says is 100%, and by 8 o'clock in the morning, it's already over 100.
The further north you
Wow.
go, the less humid it is.
Yeah.
When I was in Lincoln, it was super humid, but when I was up there in northern Nebraska, it was not. There was zero humidity.
Is it up by Omaha or a little different?
Do you know where Atkinson is?
No,
Yeah, no, it's like
I'm trying to forget Nebraska.
it's about an hour and a half south of the
Okay.
South Dakota border.
Yeah, that's it's funny you said that. With that is when we got a little bit lost here because we hadn't been here in a long time. So once we were moved around, this place is easier to navigate because over in Nebraska there are so many little roads that are private roads. So they got a sign. It'll say Hickey's Road number 62, right? So it's some guy's road, right? It's a little
Mhm.
gravel road. And if you don't know, and I have no orientation here other than, I know that the ocean is here. I know the sun comes up in the east and sets in the west, and we do have mountains that surround us. But other than that, I would have to be here a long time or have I don't have GPS on my phone. If you don't have a compass, it'd be very difficult. If somebody says, "Hey, go west on 19th Street," right? Or east or whatever. But there, man, there's no landmarks. It's not as bad as North Dakota, where it's all in Kansas, where it's plain states, where you can literally put a couple pieces of string on your steering wheel, take a nap, and wake up, and you're still going straight. I mean, is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah, no, that's what it's like in Kansas because I've been to Kansas.
Yeah.
But that's not where. That's what it's like in I think mid to southern Nebraska.
Yeah. And one of my friends, he lived there when I worked in another place, and he was from Kansas, and he said, "Yeah, you drive sometimes for 2 days, and you're still on some guy's land." Some of those people have big ranches like that. But
Yeah, well, what's the
Yeah,
thing Isaac
massive.
always says about the dog?
Oh yeah, I mean out there you can watch your dog run away for 3 days.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's unbelievable. Whatever.
Yeah, I'd never live out there. That sounds terrible.
I would recommend going where I was, but not southern. I was about 3.5
Nebraska?
hours north of
Yeah.
Lincoln.
It's always good to visit places in the country because there's a lot of stuff to see here, right?
Yeah.
Not everything is beach or Northern California where they have the redwoods and the sequoias, when you go up
Yep.
the coast. Not everybody like that, there's different places. I mean, people are
Yeah.
terrified to come to Yellowstone because they think it's all in Montana, right? And they're waiting for the caldera to blow up, I said, hey,
Yep.
I said,
I was
when
like,
I'm talking to my daughter on the phone and it goes beep and I know what happened, right? And what are you going to do?
I mean, if that caldera
Well,
goes
if it
off,
blows up,
we're
the
all
whole,
dead.
you're dead anyways.
Right.
Yeah,
It doesn't
you
matter
will.
where
I'd
you
rather be
are.
closer to it, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
at
you
least
quicker.
here I have like a second from when it crosses
You're
the
not going to be
mountains
choking
to
and,
look at it.
and suffocating from ash and pumice, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's gonna be, you're gonna be blown up
It's
by
like
the
a-
blast here.
It's gonna be like Nagasaki. Is
Pompeii.
Wow, why you got to go there, man? I got a Japanese car. Why you got to go there? It never really happened, right?
right? Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, John.
So,
A bunch of guys melt in front of you. Hey, what's wrong with you? The guy turns into a shadow on a wall, and you don't, right? What's going on? I don't know.
yeah, they're just. No, I'm not gonna go.
What would be going on there? I don't see how that's possible.
What's that?
Well, a shadow on the wall, and you
Yeah,
stay.
melt. The
How do
temperature-
you not die if they die?
Location. There's a place in Nagasaki that when that bomb went off at Bomb Center, because the bomb was let off at height, there was a temple below the bomb when the bomb went off that was still standing after the blast. I don't know what the name of it is, a Shinto place or something. But that was one of the only things that survived that when that the first one. in
What was the
Nagasaki.
height they
It
set
was
it off
almost
at?
a mile up.
Yeah, it was pretty high because they want
Really?
maximum.
Yeah, you want
They do the
maximum.
same thing with bombs now. They set the proximity fuse and it goes off for maximum efficiency, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it hits the ground, you kill everybody on the ground, right? But if it go off in the air, depending on your weapon, it will disperse whatever it's going to disperse, and you get maximum saturation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
So dudes in the temple just kind of looking out and just like,
I mean, they were all dead inside. Of course, there's like I don't know.
They're all dead, John.
But the building.
died.
But what's amazing is the building survived, right? And all their houses were made of paper, right? All their houses. Are
I
made
don't know.
No, all their
Yeah.
houses are made of wood and paper. All their windows are made out of rice paper. They
Yeah.
don't have glass. It's all.
How do you see through rice paper?
it's really thin. It's just for light.
Well, yeah, it's really
Yeah.
thin, but how does it have any? What happens when it rains?
It
It's for
gets
light.
wet.
It gets wet. It's,
Well,
it's
I-
rice paper. It doesn't like disintegrate. It's made for windows.
Well, it's
Gosh.
because you can't see through it, but it's just lighting.
My question always was when I was a kid is, what did they do with Godzilla, right? I mean, he came in and he killed all the Japanese, right? What happened? I don't know. Him and Rodan.
Yeah, it's actually they made the idea for Godzilla because of the bombs going off.
Yeah.
It was just like
Because of the nuclear. No, it was because of the nuclear isotopes, right? So,
That's a bummer.
yeah.
they were like, yeah, Godzilla. Oh, America.
See, you know what one of my favorite military weapons is?
What's that?
Godzilla.
Isaac?
The A-10 Warthog.
Let me I can tell you.
Isn't
some,
that
my
from
son
Halo?
can tell you some stories about that. He was
What?
in Iraq.
Isn't that from Halo?
No,
It's called a Fairchild Warthog A10. That's the name of
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
an
that was the
airplane.
thing from Halo.
Oh yeah.
but it's got
that.
the basically the entire plane is a gun
It's
with
a,
wings.
it's a flying
It's got a
gun.
giant it shoots
30
30
millimeter
millimeter rounds.
armor piercing rounds.
Humongous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a giant
And
turret.
it flies really slow,
Yep, it's slow and
it goes in a circle, and it support. When my son was in Iraq, in 2003, 2004, with the 82nd Airborne, they would go on little missions, and they had a guy from the Air Force called a combat controller.
Yeah.
And he would call the planes in, and they would come in, and they would just light up everything.
Oh yeah, and they're super armored too.
Right.
Like
They just take hits.
Oh, they take hits and they destroy stuff. Like, because they can destroy tanks easily.
Yeah, they just
with
like
that gun.
collapse buildings and stuff
Yeah.
and kill tanks.
Well, I
and-
mean, the sound that gun makes.
yeah, I've seen videos.
Roars.
It's crazy.
Makes a roar.
Oh yeah.
And
Cool.
that figure on the front of the nose is pretty with the teeth, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big old shark or something.
But I mean, because that gun runs the length of the entire plane,
It does,
basically.
yeah.
it's cool.
Like, it's just huge.
I think just flying a gun, dude.
It's basically.
Did you ever meet Christopher,
Maybe.
Andy's cousin?
Yeah, the bald dude.
He was an Apache helicopter pilot.
Oh,
You know,
really?
That's the most lethal weapon in the
Oh,
air that
yeah.
the U.S. military has.
Those are insane.
So
How long ago did you do that?
right after Andy got out, he went to Fort Rucker, Alabama.
I think the Apache, what is it? It's a 23 millimeter gun on the bottom of that thing, right?
A
It's
30. It's a 30 millimeter chain gun, and what it does is
Oh, it is a 30.
the helmet. It's a gun on the bottom. It's called a slave, right? So the
Yeah.
it's like you guys play video games, right?
Yep.
They wear a helmet and they have an eyepiece, and when that guy turns his head, that gun turns.
Yep, the gun will track with the guy.
Oh.
So he don't have to do anything. He just looks over there, and that gun turns over there, and then he just pushes the button,
Yep, and it just, yeah.
and it lights the
And then, I mean, it has
guys
the
with the towels on their heads.
the GPS on the top of the rotor, and it can track it's 160 something moving targets at once. Or yeah,
That's the coolest thing ever.
and then it's got the Hellfire missiles on it, and it can shoot I think it's 25 targets at once.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the worst part about it is you just sit there all day long and wait
Oh
for it.
yeah, and they can go to
Just like a fox, man. Just wait.
oh yeah,
right?
and they have the stealth mode on it, so they can go silent with it too.
Yeah.
So like you don't even hear the helicopter,
I want one.
right?
Dude, those are
Join the
sick.
army and
That's
become a warrant officer and go to Fort Rucker.
Being an enemy, that's the last thing you want to see is that GPS thing sticking over the top of a building and then
Yeah.
just.
Just a dude with goggles on. It's just like, yeah, what's up? And just looking around.
Oh, dude.
But
those
even
are
at that, they get
insane.
shot down by RPG or different stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Allahu Akbar.
Whatever.
Well, you were going to talk about something, right, Matt?
Yeah, you had a
Oh.
little
You
segment
had a
for
little
us.
segment for
Yeah,
us.
we
We
went a little bit
promised
long.
structure, and here we go.
Yeah, we have structure now. Look at
Well,
this guy.
kind of.
Well, I saw a TikTok the other month, and it was
Same.
about Montana. And
I
anything
remember
about
this
Montana
TikTok.
that comes across your For You page, you have to watch.
Yep.
And anything about Nebraska, we send to you.
Yep.
Anything about
Yeah.
Nebraska, you send to me, because
See any
For some
TikToks
reason.
about Nebraska? Send it
don't
to
know.
Snacky Matt on
I
Snapchat.
saw a TikTok
Oh,
saying
jeez.
Nebraska was the 48th prettiest state in America.
48th prettiest. Yeah, that's the one.
yeah,
What?
no, I sent that one to her. I did.
Did you? Did
Yeah,
I
and you
send
know,
it to you or did you find it?
Iowa is like the 50th,
Yep.
and her roommate's from Iowa. so I sent it to her and said, "Hey, show this to your roommate." And she's like, "Okay," and her roommate agreed.
It's the
I've driven
48th
through Iowa.
prettiest. It's not the ugliest. It's, I mean, well, it is, but
It's
they have to say it nice, right?
anyways, food in Montana, like registration here is super cheap, guys.
Yeah.
It is.
It's super cheap. So
really
like
nice.
guys who buy like
My son bought his
Supercars.
Ram here, and then they moved to Nebraska. 'Cause
Mhm.
well,
'cause-
registration's cheap, and there's so many customizable plates.
Oh yeah, and I mean
Yeah.
like my truck, I permanently registered that for about 120.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, if the truck is or your vehicle is over so many years, is it automatically you don't pay again?
Over 10 years, you can
11.
get permanent. Is it 11 years?
Oh, if
I
the
thought it was
vehicle is over
9.
11 years, you can put permanent plates on it, and then you never have to pay for tabs again.
Oh, that's
Ever.
good.
Yeah.
But my son purposely bought their truck here in Miles City. They went up
Oh,
to
yeah.
Miles City and bought it. His wife had a friend that was a dealer, worked on a dealer, and the tags. And there's no sales tax here, right?
Yeah.
So they walked out the door pretty cheap, you know. And
Oh,
but then
yeah.
When they moved to Nebraska, they had to re-register it, and the tags are insane for both. My son's got a 2004 Ford Ranger, just for basic Ranger, right?
Oh yeah.
He pays like $300 or something
Ooh.
for tags.
Right.
This is
Uh,
Nebraska.
I mean, yeah, I got permanent plates on my one vehicle, and it was like 2.5 years registration, and you never have to pay it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing some people will do up here. So if you're a Montana resident, you don't have to pay sales tax in Washington if you show your ID.
Hey.
So some people will go buy cars in Washington because the price is already marked down a little bit because of tax, and then we don't have to pay tax.
Oh, there you go.
So you end up buying cars for a decent
I
amount
heard about
cheaper
that.
over there.
My next door neighbor, they rent out this house, but they have residency in Nevada, in Lake Tahoe. So they registered all their vehicles and all their property and everything in Nevada, but they just have to go back to Nevada every 6 months in a year and a day. But they're able to get all their tags and stuff for all their vehicles. He's got a big Dodge 250 fifth wheel diesel, blah blah blah.
Oh, big Cummins, yeah.
Yeah, and he told me what he paid. I don't remember, but it'd be double that in California.
Oh,
But the one thing that Nebraska, I read up on Montana because these guys are always bugging us to move here, sell our house in Huntington, and move to Nebraska or Montana. Is they tax Social Security here. So if you have if you're getting collecting Social Security, that's one way how they generate income, right?
Mm-hmm.
Along with tourism,
Yep.
right, and gun tags, right?
Yeah.
I tried to get a bear tag here a couple of years ago. I came, and I was gonna. Dave, or his dad wanted. He says, "Hey, there's some. What's that guy's name? The outfitter guy?
I don't know.
No, he's at the bow guy.
I don't know.
He goes, "Hey, you want to go deer hunting with us, right?" And I go,
Oh, that guy.
"Yeah." I said, "Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not up on all that. I've been deer hunting a long time, but I think a California deer tag would be like $500, right?
Crap, dude.
If you're not a resident, it's a lot of
Oh
money.
yeah, out
They
of
make-
state.
That's all revenue, right? Same gun, same guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's also nice because our emissions controls are really they're super laid back up here, and we don't have tests on the they don't check
Every
your
2
vehicle.
years, check only.
Nope,
Go to a
we don't-
5-star place and pay the guy $50, and then.
No, there's no emissions up
Yeah,
there.
there's no.
Well, you guys are geographically in a better position than we are in California because you have mountains. You don't have as many cars. Is Montana the second or third less populated state? Wyoming's the less, right? 750,000
Wyoming
people.
is less.
And
than
then both the
Montana.
Dakotas have less.
Okay.
We're not even. I think we're like top 10 because of all the New England has a couple states that are just
Some like
below
Rhode
us.
Island.
so
I want to
tiny.
say we're like 46th though in
That's still pretty
population.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're also the fourth largest state.
Mhm.
by,
Yeah, it's a
land.
really
But in
good.
California, the problem with California is we're in a basin. Okay, so all around us are the San Gabriel Mountains and those kind of mountains. Well, years ago, all the cars were pretty bad. Ever follow behind a really old car, how it smells?
Mhm.
It's
Smells
not
great.
tuned very well. And it's mostly a carburetor, no injection system, no
Yep.
computer. So if you stand behind there with a gas can, you could probably get gas for your car because most of if they're
Oh,
not
yeah,
they're not efficient.
They don't
right?
run
They're
efficiently.
burning raw gas.
They
Just-
smell good, but they don't run efficient.
Right. So years ago, when the heat would come, it would cook that carbon monoxide and it would sit against those mountains. So there were days where people talk about, oh, this and that. No, when I was a kid, you couldn't even go outside and play because the smog, it's called smog, was so bad it burned your eyes and it hurt you to breathe, right?
Wow.
So that's one reason why they want the cars, yeah.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
Because, I mean, yeah, our emissions laws out here are barely anything. I mean, like, for brand new vehicles, there's emission laws, but, like, if you have a diesel, you can take your diesel to an auto shop and they'll delete it, take off all the emission controls, and nobody cares.
Do you have to
Yeah.
use depth still in those
Yeah,
laws?
we have to use DEF, unless you delete it. That's usually why
Yeah.
people delete it, because the emissions control system will cut down on the power of the vehicle, and it'll usually have issues with the emissions controls. So people will get it deleted, and then once you delete it,
It's
you
really funny down there. These guys, knuckleheads, they get these big trucks. They put big diesel engines in them. They chip them, and they can outrun an Audi, right? Because
oh
but-
yeah,
but for what? I mean, most of them can't even get in the truck without a winch because they're so jacked up. What's that? Fab Tech, and what's the other one? They put all the. You guys do a lot of them out here. Put a lot of those big 4 shocks on every axle for off road. I always see some guy in a Willys Jeep all beat up and half the doors off, and he's
Yeah.
keeping up, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, because a lot of we do have the people that'll just soup up their big diesel trucks, but I mean, a lot of the people just use their diesel trucks for hauling and
Yeah.
farm.
Yeah, a lot of
stuff.
them use it for like what's intended for. Out here.
Yeah, just
So,
heavy
so what's the
hauling.
deal with the red dye? That's only agriculture?
Red
Yeah.
dye is for
Well, it's
anything
supposed to be.
off-road use. So,
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's supposed to be for off. So anything that's not registered for road use.
So there's no tax on red
Nope, no
red
tax.
dye
So
diesel, right?
red dye is always 50 cents cheaper than regular.
Yeah,
So
but
what
if
does that
you
tell you about the tax, right?
It's a
50 cents
lot.
tax on gas.
Yeah.
Come to California, it's probably $5.
yeah, it is. It's legit
And so, but if
5.
you're caught with red dye and
You're
you're
screwed.
in an on-road, in a registered vehicle, it's a $10,000 fine.
Wow.
And I
That's a
mean,
lot.
they're not.
Is it 10,000?
Oh yeah, it's 10,000. The only.
I read somewhere that I don't read anything anymore. It's just TikToks. But I saw a TikTok somewhere that he runs red dye and he's run the calculations and it'll save him more, even if he got caught like once every 6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes
maybe
sense.
maybe
I
he
guess,
wasn't in
but,
Montana or somewhere. Maybe he was somewhere where it's more lenient.
I know, because up here, yeah. So red dye. Okay, what was it?
How do they detect that? I mean,
Oh,
It's like
okay,
they dip
so-
it. They just dip your tank.
If
Oh,
they
okay.
pull you over, yeah.
Well,
And they're
so
suspicious of
the
it.
only way they're gonna find out is if you have someone change your fuel filter.
okay.
If you're not having people do your fuel filter up here, they won't find out.
So would they? I call them the highway patrol.
Well, they can
I don't-
dip your tank.
They
though.
can, but they're not
Can
gonna.
they? Yeah, because it's
Unless-
not worth it. It's not worth it, right?
Unless they're suspicious of it. Like if
Yeah.
they've
Would
seen
it burn
you doing
different?
it.
Does it look different coming out the exhaust pipe? Or
No, it burns
No.
the exact same. Like if I guess if they see you do it, yeah, they're gonna dip your tank. But like if you don't, if nobody catches you, nobody. Like I personally know a couple people who run red dye, like all the time. But
All right, let's dox them. Who are they?
no.
First and last name, address.
Isaac and Kaufman.
what model
No,
is that
I
truck?
and
I don't run red dye.
And,
I've debated on it, but I don't.
Always
Take
choose
it
the
for
good
it.
version.
But I do know for a fact that the shop I take my truck to, if they find red dye in my tank, they won't do anything about it.
In California, the other thing is this, the check engine light comes on, on your dash, and then you got to take it in. And supposedly, the only way you can get that to go out is they do a diagnostic, and
Yeah.
hypothetically, they got the chip, they got the computer, and all that, and then it goes right to the DMV through the smog check places, right? But if you got buddies, right, they take someone else's car and they enter your, you can do that a couple times, then eventually they catch you. But yeah, every couple of years you got to go through, you got to get a smog check.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 'cause we don't have smog checks up here. But like, I mean, your check engine light comes on and nobody does anything. You can clear it yourself.
Yeah, you
if
can do.
want
Well,
to.
I was telling him he's got one for something on their car.
For
Yep.
nothing.
Like I have a so my family we have an OBD2 reader, so you just plug it in, it connects to your phone, and you can read all the diagnostics and clear codes, read codes, figure out what's happening. So like if I have a light come on, like the other day I had a light come on for something that, like it was a fluke thing. It was just popped on for, I don't know why. It was something to do with like a.
There's too many
sensor.
things.
Yeah, there was
There's
Mhm.
too many
Yeah.
things in your car,
So
right?
then I just cleared it. And now
Yeah,
it's gone.
ABS light comes on, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm stopping okay. What do I care, right? It's just annoying to see that light.
Yeah, I mean ABS is definitely nice in the winter
Yeah,
when you
it's
have
nice
ice.
up here.
Cause yeah.
But I mean the sign, right? Just because the things, it's just the chip, right?
Yeah, I mean, if your ABS light is on, your ABS won't work. But up here, it's definitely nice having ABS on ice because if you don't have ABS, your tires lock and you end up building ice up underneath them when it's locked, and you stop really bad. And so what ABS does is it makes the tires rotate. It like
It pulses, right?
yeah, it pulses the tires, and that'll keep them from building up ice underneath them, and you stop better.
Yeah, usually what I do when I have a light come up is I just take a bit of duct tape and put it right over the light.
It's a black electric thing.
Yes.
Pretty soon you can't even read the speedometer,
I
right?
can't, dude. It's just all.
it's
The only
all,
thing,
it's all electrical tape
yeah,
now.
all I can see on the speedometer is 100, so I know when I'm going 100.
I know when
Too
I'm
bad
going
your
100.
car's governor's at 95,
97.
97.
You're
Yeah,
so close.
So I see like the little edge of it. If I look down underneath, it's like, oh, there it is.
My
Is it,
truck's-
oh, but maybe I should
So-
look out the windshield.
So we're talking about Montana. Let's go back to Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
License plates.
Rabbit
This
trails
is why.
indeed.
This is why we rebranded.
Yeah, rabbit trails.
Yeah, so we got lots of license plates because it's cheap and crap. There's 289 of them.
Do you have to pay? In California, they call that a vanity plate.
So
Yep.
there's about 5 or 6 that you can choose from. Those are like your basic ones, and for an extra $25, I think the cheapest is like 25, and the most expensive one is like 35 for the really, really custom ones.
Yeah, well, and you can do custom lettering too.
It's pretty cool. I've seen some. They're
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And you can choose like there's 289 of them. But one super cool thing I found, like, so say you got a 1967 Ford Mustang, and you want to register it in Montana. If you find a pair of 1967 Montana license plates, you can take them in to the DMV and get them registered.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah, you
That's
can
cool.
register vintage plates if you want.
Yeah.
So like we have a plate hanging on our in our garage from 1942.
Wow.
You could take it and get it registered.
Is that
Yeah.
the really rusty one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can read what it says on it.
Huh.
But it's cool because they didn't have adhesive tags yet, so it's just a metal plate you put over your
Right.
original number.
Yeah, it's just some what is it? Cooking spray and black duct tape or something.
Well, if you take WD-40
Yeah.
and you spray it on your license plate and you use like black spray paint, it'll wipe right off.
Oh. So
It works on a lot of stuff too. Like if we were to take the camera and like spray with WD-40 and then you spray paint it, and it'll wipe right off. It works on like if you ever go to rob like a gas station, you could just like spray yourself, just like take a bath in WD-40 and like
And then some black spray paint.
Black spray
WD-40
paint.
is the cure for everything.
and it
And
just
black
comes right
spray
off.
paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of oil and
Yeah.
Black
So
spray paint.
I think in
Black spray paint.
California they call it a vanity plate, and I think it costs a lot more. I don't know, but that's every year. It's not just a one-time fee. It's
Oh,
a
really?
one-time
Oh,
fee.
wow.
Yeah, so if you're getting a
buy the
vanity
plate,
plate,
yeah.
you pay for it. You pay for the initial plate, and then all you have to do is upkeep tags.
Here.
Yep.
Okay.
So you don't have to repay for
The little
plate.
sticker, right?
Yep.
Can you
Yeah.
get that permanent?
Yeah, I have permanent vanity plates on my truck.
Oh yeah, that's.
I
the,
have permanent back to blue plates on my
Now,
truck.
my son was telling me that in Nebraska he wanted to get a plate that said veterans on it,
Mhm.
and it was free here.
Yeah, they are.
But when he went to Nebraska, they charged him.
Yeah,
Or they
if you
he didn't get it. So, but
if you're a veteran up here, you can get that plate for free.
oh, that's
yeah,
pretty
they'll
cool.
charge you up the butt if you're in Nebraska. Though.
Yeah.
Apparently.
You got to
Yeah.
generate income. That's one reason. Most of that and gas tax is why that helps work your roads.
Apparently.
Supposedly, the tax on your gas.
Well, yeah, because I mean we don't have income tax. They tax us harder with.
well, there's no sales tax.
No, sorry, no.
There's a lot.
I
There's
wish
lot.
there was no income
Really,
tax.
we have
Tax.
higher income tax because there's no sales tax.
So,
Yeah.
so
It
now that
evens
they're
out.
making
Yeah.
Montana State it's Montana State, right? The one here
Mhm.
in town.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Montana
see
State.
they're adding a lot more stuff. I understand because my niece might come here. I think she got an offer for nursing, so they're making it
Oh,
a bigger,
yeah.
right? So, how much does that impact the city, the college kids, besides dumping money, right?
I mean,
into
they're
it.
kind of annoying, but
They're the
aside
worst.
from that.
But I mean, they make a good. There's a lot of them though.
They're funny to
Like
look
they
at.
fill up a good chunk of Bozeman.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
Well,
right?
You
the
can tell-
population of Bozeman is what, 60 by now?
That was
Closer to 40 or
55.
50.
I thought it was like 40 like 3 years ago.
I thought it fluctuated from 45 to like 70 when the college.
70.
Well,
It's
there's
not 70.
There's like 15,000 college students enrolled in
Is
this.
that how big that school is? 15.
Yeah.
That's
probably.
decent size, not great big. In
15.
California, there's some that have 50.
In-state tuition for MSU for someone in-state is less than $8,000.
yeah,
Out of state is 27.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Uh,
insane. Yeah.
In California, it's the same way because you don't have those out here, but in California we do. Is a lot of junior colleges, and you can go a lot of. Say you get out of high school and you did okay in school, but you really want to go to Stanford. Okay, so you could go to a junior college for like say $100 a unit, and take all of your classes, transferable classes to a Stanford. Because my niece did this, and then she transferred to USC as a junior, and did 2 years at USC, and that was $50,000 a year at USC, room and board and everything. And it doesn't matter because her diploma says USC, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys don't have a lot of community colleges here?
We got Gallatin
Yeah, we got
Community
Gallatin.
College. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can go to Gallatin.
You can
for
take a
like
couple years there and then go to MSU.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, technically, right now I'm enrolled at MSU Northern, which is up by Kalispell.
I didn't know that.
No, I don't know.
Right, cool.
No,
I don't
I
know where it is. I'm just.
Because there's a lot of
It's called
colleges
clap
in
for Isaac.
Montana.
The other one is home. It's called adult education. So you could, like, if you work, and I did that for a long time. You go to work in the day, you get off work, come home, eat dinner, and then you go to school at night. And
Yeah.
that's pretty cheap. It's tough. It's tough to do that. But you know, if you want to take one class or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but that part is pretty good. Because there's probably 20 junior colleges in Southern California, just in our general area, and they're all fairly cheap to go to. So.
Something cool I learned about MSU is we have a duck pond. There's like a duck pond over there. It's like sacred. And the
I hate the duck
in-state
pond.
attendance, you're allowed to actually, when you leave, like when you graduate, you're allowed to take a duck with you.
Really?
Kind of like as a little, remember
It's like a
MSU
gift
thing.
from the
Yeah.
college.
It basically is.
You're supposed to go like start your own duck pond with it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
You
Yeah.
can take a little piece of MSU with you if you leave or whatever.
But the only thing is how you get it on the plane, right?
Well, it's for the in-state.
Oh,
In-state.
oh.
So
That makes
it's
sense.
mostly
Good.
local people.
So what is U of M's? How big is U of M?
They're bigger.
Monster
Are they bigger?
University.
No,
I don't know how much bigger, but I know
Missoula?
they are.
Is
Yeah,
that Missoula? We made a mistake.
Are
One
they
year-
bigger?
I'm pretty sure they are. I know they have a bigger football stadium, so they're probably a bigger school.
We
Screw
came here
them
one year, and I
guys.
don't remember
Right.
when my son got married, and Montana State was playing, Missoula was playing, and we went in the hotel. Oh God, we were the only one in the whole, probably the whole city that was from somewhere else. But
Oh yeah.
it was homecoming.
Oh,
It was a homecoming game, and they were playing. What's it? The Grizzlies or the?
yeah, Grizz.
Yeah.
My favorite team.
Yeah, your favorite team.
Guys, go hate on
What
John
is-
in the
what
comments.
is Grizz's mascot's name?
The Grizzly guy.
No.
Nope.
Boca.
No.
Nope.
Pocahontas.
No.
Close.
It's Boca.
No.
What is it?
It's Monty.
Oh, that's what
Monty
I said.
Python.
Monty.
Like the movie.
Do you guys know what our mascot is?
Not a clue. I
Oh,
couldn't
that one's
care.
Boca.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Is that one Monty Python?
Close.
Bobcat's
Wait, hold
on,
mascot.
don't tell me.
Yeah,
Oh.
Wait,
it's
no, I
Champ.
know this one.
George Washington.
No,
It's guys. It's Boca.
No, it's Champ.
Wait. Is
It's
it Boca?
Yeah, it's Boca.
You got it.
Nailed it. It's Boca.
I don't care. The cat sucks. So
Anything left on the license plate stuff?
So the Missoula team
No.
is the better team, right?
No.
Not recently.
No.
Yeah, not recently,
I like-
but
I like liking that team. 'cause
They just
everyone
beat Idaho,
hates them.
didn't
They beat
I don't know. I don't
Washington or
give a
something?
crap about.
They
I don't
beat
care
a
at
good,
all.
they beat a really good team, but then they lost to some bad teams recently.
So those bad teams are better than the really
well,
good
and
teams
usually
then?
the what is it? Last 7 years the Bobcats have won or
it's
something.
only 4 years.
Only 4.
The,
Okay.
uh,
Ever
I thought it
since
was
John
7.
Mon left.
Ever since John Mon left.
What is it called? Like the Duel of the Wild or something?
Brawl.
Brawl
of
the
the
Wild.
The Duel.
Duel of
You
Fate.
make it sound like it's a sword fight or something. The Duel of the
They just-
Wild.
They pick two of the guys and then they
Monty and
back to back.
Baca get out there.
They
Yeah,
just
they
pick
get back
two
to back
random
sword
students.
Yeah, it's Brawl
You're
of the
coming
Wild.
with me.
Fight to the death.
Guys, I follow Boca's his TikTok.
Who's Boca?
Boca the Bobcat.
Do you follow Boca's TikTok?
I do. It's
Oh yeah,
so
Boca
bad.
has a TikTok.
It is so
I remember
bad.
that.
Oh my god.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
Champ has a TikTok.
Boca.
Champ? Who's
Oh,
Champ?
does he?
The MSU mascot has a TikTok.
Oh.
Sounds awful.
It is awful.
It's because MSU's awful.
it's so
Their team's
bad.
awful.
Yeah, it's kind
And
of true.
the Grizz are so much better.
I bet Monty has a TikTok too.
Yeah, I'd
Oh,
probably
they
Oh,
do.
100%.
No,
He
Monty's
does.
been on Champ's TikTok. If
You
you,
mean Boca's?
yeah, Boca. Sorry. Yeah, Monty's been on Boca's TikTok.
Dude, I have no idea where I got Boca from.
I have no idea what's
Sounds
happening.
like a
Probably
dog
from
name.
MSU because that's his
That,
name.
that's right.
yeah, Boca.
That's probably where you got that.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Banana, you had something special.
I
shit.
did, but we're just over an hour now.
Oh, shit.
I think I'll save that for next episode
Yeah, get
because
hyped
you know
for
we
that,
went
guys.
on to some
rabbit
rabbit trails.
Got him.
Thank you guys for listening to the first episode of Rabbit Trails. We did a really good job at going on rabbit trails, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just glad we didn't talk about our weeks because that kind of was stupid.
Yeah, well, we left that behind a long time ago. So
How was
anyway,
your
man,
week,
how
Matt?
was your? But yeah, leave a comment. Let us know if you think the podcast is better or if it's worse. If it's
or if
worse,
it's the exact
if
same.
you think it's worse, please don't leave a comment because it might hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
just say
make sure
it's
to-
better anyway.
Well, if it's what they actually think, don't you want what your viewers actually
Well, I
think?
want
It would
them.
hurt his feelings though.
Yeah, I just want them to say it's good, even if
I
it's not.
forgot.
Yeah. And then iTunes, Spotify, we're on all the things.
Is there?
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
You guys should
Your
post on
mom
TikTok
can follow
more.
us. I'm trying to do it like once a week at least.
I
but
enjoy the small clippets I get on TikTok.
yeah.
I
We're
spend
gonna
a
start
lot of time
making
on TikTok.
some. We're gonna start making some original content for TikTok. not
That'll
just
be good.
rewriting stuff.
I
But
mean, I made some of those.
yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks for the,
Yeah,
I'm getting on a
thanks
plane
for
tomorrow
coming
morning,
on.
going back to California. But this was great. I'm glad I got to do this. And
Yeah, thanks,
time with
Papa,
you
for
guys.
coming.
yeah, and I hope I don't get stopped at the by TSA on the way because of this, right?
Hey, were you on that super popular podcast?
Yeah. What's this rabbit hole thing?
Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe or something. Bye.
Talk to you later.
Mahalo. See you later.
Man,
I gotta say, man, I hate our viewers. Say, man, I hate our viewers.
Man, I hate our viewers. Yeah. Let me catch you.
new podcast.